Yeah, man. That's all she wrote, man. PSG 2, Arsenal 1. Arsenal out of the Champions League after losing 3-1 on aggregate. Yeah, what can I say, man? What can I say? I feel that the chickens have come home to roost. I feel tonight you saw how close, but yet how far we are from winning any of the big trophies. And I personally feel like it was painfully evident that we are missing a centre forward. When we had that early spell of pressure and possession, I just felt like if we're not gonna convert one of these chances at that point, I just felt like we never was, and I felt like we was never gonna win a tie. And this is why we kept saying over and over again, we need a centre forward. This is why in January we should have signed a striker or another attacking player. I ain't really gonna go too deep or start digging out players like that, but I think you saw who. See, at this stage of the competition, you see who's average and who isn't. If a player doesn't perform and plays average in these kind of games, these big, massive games, i.e. the Champions League semi-final, if they don't show up in these games, then that player is average. I'm not going to specifically say who, but I feel like it's very evident who I'm talking, that the type of player I'm talking about, or who I will be talking about in this circumstance. If you don't show up in the Champions League final, semi-final, if you can't show up in games like this, if you're not having an effect, all right, if you're not impacting the game, then I'm sorry, you're just an average player. And I don't want to do this whole ranting thing and be like a flip-flop fan and say, oh, it's bad, it's terrible, I'm sick. No, I'm not going to do the AFTV shit, innit? But I feel like we reached a point now where we have to start asking the question of Mikel Arteta. And I love Arteta. Listen, don't get me wrong, yeah, he's brought us to this point where we are competitive again, where we are actually competing in the Champions League semi-final, but it's becoming a bit apparent that a question needs to be asked if he can take us over the line. I mean, I can't even count how many semi-finals he's had and he's lost. It's like he can't. It's appearing right now that he can't take us to the next stage. And listen, I'm not saying that's definitely true, because he has had a lot to do with this season, innit? Because injuries injuries is the main thing. I mean, we're missing like half our team, really and truly. I mean, I don't know if anyone saw what you said the other day when you said all the players were in the dressing room. And you just saw all the players who were out injured, just like sitting in the dressing room, and he said that was like a start on 11, and that's who we've been missing all season. And you have to take that into account. You can't just ignore that fact. So you have to look at it in context. But amongst other things, there's problems because at the end of the day, we could have somewhat rectified the situation that we was in an attacking sense in January. Listen, I know you can't legislate for losing as many players as we have, but you took a gamble and didn't get anyone. Like, injuries are part of football. You have to like kind of legislate for injuries, so that's why you get more players just in case. And the just in case came, and we didn't. I mean, we didn't deal with that situation, and the just in case came. So yeah, man, I'm just pissed off and frustrated because once again, it's like we're so close but so far. I feel like I've been here before where I am right now. I feel like I've done this before. I feel like I've said these things before. I feel like I've felt like this before. Yeah, man, it's just. I mean, the season's done, but the season's done anyway, man. It's like, what, 3 games left? I mean, he's got one more season. And so, you know what? Some fans out there think he hasn't even got one more season. But let's have it right. We're not going to sack him in the summer. I don't even want him sacked in the summer. But it's getting harder and harder to defend him now. And I'm not saying it's all on him. There's some players that just haven't showed up. I'll make a whole other video about Martin Odegaard. I don't want to scapegoat him. He's another player I love, but he's another one where it's getting harder and harder to defend. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think he had the worst game today. I don't think games like that are decided on fine margins, but like, it's like what my friend said, you have to make your own fine margins. You know what I mean? Fine margins work for teams like PSG because they got the quality. You know what I mean? I mean, let's have it right. Both their goals were fine margins. Well, no, the second goal was out more just sloppy play from us. I don't know what we was doing for that goal, man. Honestly, I don't even want to get words can't even express what I feel about that goal. But the first goal, for example, that's a fine margin. Like, sometimes you have to make your own luck. Hence why Real Madrid was so successful all these years. But yeah, man, it's just disappointing, man. It's just, yeah, it's mad. But hey, here we are. Been here before. I'm not even going to say next season because might be in the same position next season. But yeah, man, it's painfully. Hopefully with Andrea Berta, sorry. Hopefully things are going to change in the squad personnel sense of things. I feel like the decision about, because I actually believe, like, if it was up to Arteta, you actually wouldn't get a centre forward. I do believe he feels like his style of play and the way he wants to play football doesn't need or require a centre forward, and that's just absolute bullshit. Like, every team needs a centre forward. That's not saying you don't need a goalkeeper. Listen, teams have won it in the past without a centre forward, but we ain't that team. We ain't the Man City teams that Pep had a couple of years ago. You know, we're a different kettle of fish. So I'm glad that decision has kind of come out of his hands a little bit, because we're reaching a point where we can't wait any longer for more success. I mean, what pisses me off about this season the most is that how we performed in the domestic cups, because at least we've had like an FA Cup or League Cup. That's actually more piss for Arteta, because he could at least fall back on that. You get me? So now we can't even, like, you can't do that, because we went on the FA Cup in the third round and we performed like pathetically in the semi-finals of the League Cup, and it was kind of similar to how we performed tonight. It's just like, yeah, man, I'll tell you, not only does questions have to be asked of Mikel Arteta, but I think he has to ask himself some questions, like, is he doing enough to win these tournaments? Because at the end of the day, you can say the Premier League is hard to win, you can say the Champions League is hard to win, but you went out the League Cup and FA Cup in pathetic fashion. So yeah, man, I think there's some big questions to be asked. I feel sorry for him because he has done well, but now the spotlight's just going to be all on him. But I don't think he's helped himself at all. I feel like the decisions he's made over the course of the seasons have come home to roost now, and just like, yeah, we're paying the price for it in a minute, man. But yeah, man, big up everyone, man. Big up PSG. They're a good team, man. They're a very, very good team. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the final goes, man, because that's a clash of basically a clash of styles. You know, styles make fights. I actually think Inter Milan are going to win the Champions League. There's something about them that looks really solid. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if PSG go on and win it. Because I don't think, you know what? I don't even think PSG were great tonight either, to be fair. I just feel like they took their chances better than we did. You know what I mean? Saka missed the open goal at the end, didn't it? So yeah, man, I'm just in my feelings right now, man. I'll make another video when like the dust is settled and not as angry and emotional as now. But hey, yeah, man, everyone have a good night. Stay safe.